that's a big claim in a video, and that is a huge L.
Ivanka Trump when she was 13.
Yeah, and the message reads, so this photo is allegedly of Ivanka Trump when she was 13. Ava thought that this was possibly a 13-year-old, and she's posting it in a work chat.
That is a big time L. I feel like, you know, the champion for ethics and the championing, all this stuff, that's cool. Championing for being a generational hater, it's hard to get behind that. I step away a little bit for that one, all right, guys? And sometimes I'll get close and I'll zoom in on myself, and then I'll hope that there's no boogers in my nose. Hello. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Are you feeling well? By the way, not defending Ava Tyson at all. I think Ava Tyson is a weird piece of shit. I've lost care. I've lost care. It's nonsense. To be fair, Rosanna in her video does say that this is alleged and not confirmed, which is good, but like at the same time, obviously you're gonna say that. It's like you're hoping that it was you're just reaching for everything, really, is what's going on here. The big claim, the overarching claim in the video is that Jimmy knew Ava was inclined towards inappropriate behavior and he didn't do anything. And there was this huge backlash in regard to Ava, and he only decided to acknowledge it when everyone else became aware, when all the allegations came out in July, as he claimed in his public statement. So they're trying to undermine Mr. Beast even further, which in my opinion, you really don't need to. After the first Dawson video, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. Of course, yeah, you're right. Most of this is 95% of all of this is just so right, and it's amazing, and it's well done, and it's fun, and now it's just like, it's like it's just I don't know, it's not as good. It's not as good. It's just internet nonsense that I don't care as much about, because it just keeps on not being true. Rosanna was skeptical of the claim that Mr. Beast made that he had only just found out recently, given the fact that Mr. Beast had Shadman's art hanging up on the wall when he lived with Ava. I just saw a creature run off, I swear to God. Skinwalker, dude. What the f***? That's crazy, dude.
And Mr. Beast even had a Shadman poster hanging up in his house in the living room, like as a centerpiece, and it remained in his house after Ava moved out. You can see it in this video.
I didn't even know what Shadman was until all this stuff, and quite frankly, I've grown very weary of the internet this year. I've grown very weary after learning about all this stuff. Jimothy Beast knew that Ava had NSFW channels in the Discord server for fans of the Mr. Beast channel.
Username Brooke the Mom saying, okay, I do think it's a bit inappropriate and should be limited to those who are actually of appropriate age, because it's open to everyone.
Oh, hello, traveler.
Like, there should be a restriction on it. She goes on to say, I don't have an issue with the channel, but I have an issue with our minors that have access to said channel, referring to the Not Safe for Work channel. And then Chris responds, is there even a way to do that?
And like, there was a lot of extremely inappropriate stuff that Rosanna is alleging that Mr. Beast knew about long in advance before he claimed to have known anything about it, to undermine his reputation and to presumably get his deal with Logan Paul, with the Mavericks, with the Low Gang, canceled or whatever. Everyone working Logan Paul. And also KSI, he sucks too. Like, who the fuck is he?
From the screen to the ring to the pen to the...
These people are so terrible. It's just, you don't even need to go on a limb. People just see it. You're not going to be able to destroy them. It's not how it works. Have you ever seen Idiocracy?
Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
It has electrolytes. That's real life. That's Prime in real life. That is Logan Paul in real life. All this stuff is real life.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Dumbasses. Where's the Hog 2 button on this thing? So yeah, all the inappropriate stuff is old news at this point. It's incredibly well documented, and it's obvious who's in the right and who's in the wrong. Mr. Beast should have a level of responsibility for all this stuff. 110%. Any responsible man who has a level of ownership and takes accountability for their actions and the people that they surround themselves with would. Like, it's just, you should just take it on the chin and keep rolling, bud. This is like the only response he ever made to anything, and there's still people trying to undermine that. In this video, they laid the groundwork to show that inappropriate exchanges were had and children had access to unsafe images when they shouldn't have. So they're trying to raise the question, how could Jimmy not have known when he said he didn't know?
How the hell could Jimmy say he doesn't know about his best friend when he's posting this in the chat with him?
How could you not have known when it was so rampant? And the leak of the group chat, my man, is supposed to prove that he did know about Ava's very inappropriate behavior, or at the very least knew that Ava had an inappropriate sense of humor before allegations came in. Dude, I've seen clips of Mr. Beast from podcasts years and years ago that were incredibly inappropriate.
I dare you to say something controversial.
Yeah, Chris, I was thinking about robbing a store.
You can't do that. You'll get shot, Jimmy.
If you have an appropriate sense of humor, it doesn't automatically equate to being a predator. That's just not how that works, okay? If you make it's dark humor, liberals, all right? Some predators do happen to also have a dark sense of humor. It seems like. You know, I've tended to notice that. But the beauty's in the eye of the beholder, as they say. Then they go on to claim that the individual in the group chat named John Smith is Mr. Beast.
I want to show you that John Smith in his chat log is Mr. Beast. That's confirmed by former employees. He changed his name on Telegram. I'll just show some messages to show that.
I did find several messages in which he refers to himself as Mr. Beast or Jimmy as evidence for this claim that John Smith is not a founding father or revolutionary, but instead Jimothy Beast, founding father and revolutionary.
Here he's saying he got exposed after King sent on Twitter, and then here he gets tagged as Jimmy by someone else. Of course I know that. Every time I text King, he tells me it's not 23 hours.
There's some context of it. I don't know, there's tweets and stuff, I'm not sure.
It's John Smith linking Jim Robinson's feet and his feet are 4.8 out of 5.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Mine are 5 out of 5. Don't want to brag, but that's embarrassing.
John Smith. John Smith. 4.8 out of 5. Am I on there? Am I on WikiFeet? I don't think I'm on WikiFeet yet. WikiFeet. That is a strong image too. Wow, that is quite an image there. Here we go. There's lots. Oh man, there's a lot of these. I did not expect this. What the is that, dude? That's crazy. There's a lot. There's hundreds. Oh my god, there's a picture of my penis on here. Just kidding. Wow, this is crazy. Anyways, what's my rating? 5.47 out of 5. Yes, sir! I can only share a few of the messages in the video, but Rosina also shared the entire group chat on Twitter, scrolling through the messages so anyone can view what was sent. And by Christ, we downloaded it just in case it was needed. It probably won't. It's not that big of a deal. It's kind of like a big thing. It's just not true, which is the Ivanka Trump thing, which I already said wasn't true.
So Ava Tyson sends a photo of a young-looking girl in a sheer top.
Ivanka Trump when she was 13.
I should have been like, oh god, did they do it? And then reveal that at the end. But I don't give a So I just told you it was not true in the very beginning, and I kind of ruined my point of the video. So, and now I'm looking at WikiFeed, so that's super off topic, but oh well. Anyways, the whole purpose of sharing these messages is once again to prove that Mr. Beast knew about Ava well before the public, and well before his public acknowledgement claims he did. And these messages, the group chat messages, are all from 2020, 2021, so it's years ago, not months, as Jimmy claimed. There are a ton of memes also sent in the inappropriate messages, some that Dawson and Rosanna didn't show, and these include very inappropriate depictions of Franklin the Turtle from the Kid Show things. There's some really weird shit. I'm obviously not going to show in this video. I don't suggest you guys look it up. There's really bizarre stuff in the group chat. Once again, I feel like, I've never seen anything like that in the group chat, to be fair. And like a lot of this stuff is really odd, and Ava clearly has a massive problem. But like, there's some fucked up shit in some group chats. Alright, I'm just gonna be real. Just kidding. I'm a really pretty boring, nice guy. Yeah. I like to pretend to be cool and edgy, and then say, "Hold your horses, liberals." It's just dark humor, liberals, but it doesn't work. I'm cold, and I just don't really care. I don't want people to dislike me, and I don't want to dislike people. I just want to learn and move forward as a human being. Life's very short, and 100 years hence, none of this will matter. 6 months hence, none of this will matter. Now, then to follow directly with me making light of all of that, there were memes sent specifically related to being a predator or sex offender, which is not that funny. These are not they're not very funny. The asexual one I thought was kind of okay. These are cringe. Pretty much all sent by Ava too. just unbelievable. What a freak. Ava also shared some incest stuff. Ava's a weirdo, bro. Ava is a fucking absolute weirdo, just troglodyte internet dweller that followed me on Twitter. that followed me on Twitter and was even a supporter of Sour Boys, which is really unfortunate. So beyond work chat posts that are not safe for work, which is inappropriate in and of itself, but also it wasn't actually a work chat that came out as well, you know, so that's, I keep calling it a group, it's a group chat, it's not a work chat. Part of the whole deal with the Rosanna thing is that it was a work chat. It also wasn't even a work chat, but there are exchanges in here, aside from just memes and posting NSFW stuff in a work chat, group chat, whatever the there's exchanges that are far worse. Dawson and Rosanna showed a message in which Jimmy shared an anime that Ava would be interested in.
June of 2021, he sends a message of an anime called Higihiro. It says, I bet Chris would love this show.
And it is an anime supposedly about a relationship between a 26-year-old and a 17-year-old. The 26-year-old is drunk and lets a high schooler he finds on the side of the road stay at his place overnight, and according to the show description, the story proceeds from there.
It's well known online to be a controversial anime, and this anime is based on even more explicit novels that go into the details of this romantic relationship between adult and an underage girl.
I've personally never watched the show, not a big anime guy, not into weird shit. I'm a regular ass dude, super normal, in the dark though, which is weird. You know, if being into weird shit is wearing $40,000 quad nods and shooting things in the middle of the night with my friends, then I'm weird as fuck. But if it has to do anything with like victimizing people and making anyone of any creed or shape feel uncomfortable for me to get a laugh or feel some kind of rise at their expense, I'm not into it. I'm not into it. That goes with most things, so unfortunately I'm just trying to live, you know, better life here. But anyways. Once again, I've never watched the show, nor will I ever, so I will not be able to approach the show from an informed standpoint. Some posts suggest that the show is to raise social awareness of teen runaways in Japan, so it's like a good show, and some suggest it encourages criminality since it's illegal to shelter runaway girls, which I don't know anything about criminality or runaways or anything like that at all. These people we're taking this information from could be just as ignorant as me, all right? They could be just as ignorant as I am, and they probably are, let's be real. People are really ignorant nowadays, all right? They're very, very, very ignorant. By far, the most disturbing thing shared in the group chat is when Ava shared a picture of Ivanka Trump in a very revealing top stating that it is her at the age of 13. It is not. It is her at the age of 18.
Young-looking girl in a shoe top.
Ivanka Trump when she was 13.
And sharing that her manager was also in the message, Ava shared that, which further implicates that the picture is likely someone who is underage who shouldn't have their image be shared. The exact text from Ava is, so this photo is allegedly of Ivanka Trump when she was 13. Her modeling agent John is one that's been given. At the very least, in this group chat, they're sharing an image of someone who they believe is 13 years old. For what reason, I have no idea, and they're reverse image searching it. And I don't know what it is about. I don't know if this is weird. I just feel weird how much this is used to just in general, even by Rosanna also. Like, this just seems weird. It makes me really uncomfortable. This whole thing makes me really like what I mentioned in the very beginning, that the image is not of a 13-year-old person. It does make it not illegal at that point, but the behavior of Ava Tyson is disgusting regardless. Luckily, this person has been eliminated off the internet, and I don't think that they will ever come back. At least I hope they don't. So yeah, very odd. I want to know what you guys think. It's very important that this is not an image of a 13-year-old person, in my opinion, and also it is just as important that the person who posted it believed that it was. Very strange. Absolutely strange. So the person who used to claim that he didn't know about Ava years ago in a group chat that they were both in, Ava was sending what she believed to be a scandalous photo of a child. Jimmy was recommending the anime things. That's another thing in my opinion. A lot of anime is weird to do that, which is why I don't like it, but a lot of people, like relatively people, love it. It's fucking weird, so I don't know. I could be completely wrong and off base. I probably am. I'm in Appalachia right now. It's dark. It's dark, and I should purple lights. Just want to feel like a bug. Now, this is where the second chapter of the controversy comes into play. By sharing this message image from Ava in the Mr. Beast group chat from back in 2021, Dawson and Rosanna have drawn quite a bit once again, controversy towards themselves, and directed it more and lessons directed towards Mr. Beatenheimer, all right, bud? Also, Rosanna pinned a comment on her video saying that she reported all of this to the FBI, which caused more controversy. So, the main thing is just not true. It's not Ivanka Trump. We're wasting the FBI's time. But a lot of the headlines around this are like, what does this mean? What does the FBI have to do about anything? Why are you involving the FBI? What does that even mean? Why are you, this is YouTube drama. This is not FBI related. Now on to perfectly valid concerns in regard to Rosanna and Dawson. These are concerns that I also have. TBH. If they believe that this was CP, and actually were taking at face value what Ava Tyson was sharing, then why exactly would they do it in the video, and why would Rosanna use said image in the thumbnail, and using that to A/B testing to ensure that the thumbnail that got the most views was the one that would appear, and that one happened to be the one with alleged terrible CSAM. All right, that's weird. That's really, really, really strange. Your priorities are mixed up. It seems like your priorities are mixed up, and you can recover from that. To be fair, you can get criticism and change, of course. But like at this point, how would you not? I mean, with the internet, with anything off the net, like this is a mistake you could make a couple years ago, 2 years ago. But this is just really odd at this point. It's like everything sucks. It seems like these A/B tests, guys. She said she was 12. She said she was 12. She's 13. She said she was 12. She said she was 12. That was a giant trend on YouTube for a long time, putting she said she was 12. People love watching people get exposed for being it's also important to note, a lot of the backlash against Dawson and Rosanna has come from a group of ne'er-do-wells, as the internet would call them. Keemstar, Willie Mack, and Nicholas DeMorio. Friends of the show. These folks are cool for some quite valid reasons because of the use of the content for the content and potentially needing to save it to their devices to put in their video, which is really weird. That is so weird. It's true. It's so strange. Like, how could you see that and just be like, oh, this is going to be a huge bombshell drop. Let's go ahead and put it on the thumbnail, put it in the video. You don't do that. You shouldn't do that. If you know, you shouldn't do that, right? If you know. If you don't know, then it's a stupid mistake. If you do know, then you're weird. And you're kind of unethical. And that's where all this stuff stems from. Is like, who can be more unethical in trying to prove how unethical each other is? It's really ironic. It's an Ouroboros of stupidity. So yeah, really odd thought. Dawson has denied reacting to it or saving uncensored versions of anything. He said that on his Twitter, while also simultaneously denying that it was exploitative or illegal in any way, and it was conveyed as factual. It was more so a speculative thing. So that's the response to those criticisms. The goal of Rosanna and Dawson was to simply share that Ava had shared the uncensored image in a Mr. Beast group chat while she had believed it to be an explicit image of the minor. So they're trying to reorient it back towards Ava, which I think is perfectly reasonable, because at the end of the day, the person who's really in the wrong is Ava here, for sure.
Either way, like having Ava Tyson saying, oh, this photo's elected Ivanka Trump when she's 13, it's clearly sexually explicit. She's wearing a see-through top. That's insane.
That is wildly inappropriate and just insane for a company chat.
You got this dumbass game of ethics being played in YouTube drama nonsense. What do you expect? I mean, of course, it makes sense, right? Of course this is happening. I want to work to that respect. My fiance, girlfriend, is in that already behind me. She's listening. She's here watching. She's watching. She's my baby's I don't want to be this. What was this? I have a laptop right here, right under the camera. Oh, it's greasy. It's covered in grease. On top of them further painting Ava as the true villain, they are undermining Mr. Beast's response. That's the whole goal, is that he knew when the group chat was active. Oh, Jimmy Smith, or whatever the fuck his name was. After the video went live, it didn't take long for people to hunt down the original image, which is from a British GQ magazine, and Ivanka was 18 years old. So they became all about it. That unfortunately made the controversy even worse, guys. Even worse controversy. Dawson shared that update himself on Twitter. I gotta be honest, he's taking like a man, in a sense. I really do appreciate this. It's good to see people being willing to acknowledge their mistakes. You have to be, because the failure of journalism here is big, gigantic, huge. In his response, he also says that he knows people will tell him he should have researched further before they went to the authorities, because they reported that shit. Post from GQ and just wasted literal time, which maybe is good. It's not. However, he does say that Roseanne went to the FBI before he filmed the video, and everything was handled as perfect. Comments on Dawson's post are fairly critical of him, saying that even if Mr. Beast is a bad guy, by getting so many things wrong and having the lack of sort of journalistic integrity, they weaken their own arguments and undermine themselves even more than they can undermine Mr. Beast's silence. I agree 110% with Omni here. I think you guys are slowly weakening your own arguments. It's very important to get these facts correct versus leaving it for open speculation when the result is only in your favor and chips away your credibility as a source, especially when others report on it. You shouldn't do that. I don't know. It just feels now, like this whole thing just feels stupid now. It felt cool and like, oh, there might be some good that's come out. I got to talk to everyone involved, and it seemed like there was going to be a resolution, but neither side actually is a real human being, it seems like, unfortunately. So, oh well, it's just me. I'm the only one left. I'm the only real person. It feels like that. I feel like Will Smith from I Am Legend and/or Fresh Prince in that scene where the house is empty and he's standing there. There's a couple scenes where he feels quite alone. iRobot as well. Willie Mack also had a good take saying, you should have found this out before making your video. You clearly don't give a shit about doing a good job. I get we were just making YouTube videos, but you need to have some level of integrity before going forward with the story. True. Absolutely true. None of that is fake. None of that is false. That's totally true. That's 110% true. You cannot argue against that in any way. You definitely should. You're just making YouTube videos, you're making shit, but you're building a career off being a generational hater. People have done that before successfully, but it's because they're just journalists and they're smart and they're not YouTubers who are just clout goblins or whatever. This is where things become incredibly complicated because it's obviously not a great look to levy hefty accusations like this that just fall through, especially when you take into consideration the other falsities that have been proposed by Dawson, which have been reported on by other people. For example, Dawson had alleged in the past that a Mr. Beast employee had been guilty of DV.
I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases.
And he said as much in his video without actually confirming the facts or kind of going through with anything. So it's a continuous lapse of judgment. There's no luck involved. It's nobody's fault but the person who's reporting it. I mean, you know, you just gotta admit that. You gotta acknowledge that it's not good, it's not smart, right? I still believe both Rosanna and Dawson mean well, and I feel like the internet itself kind of gives things like this a life of their own potentially, and the whole cancellation big monster rears its ugly, stupid head and slop in the internet. Yeah, everybody's responsible, but also there's a level of just kind of magic that's out there that you can't really control, and it makes good people do stupid shit, and stupid people do good shit. No, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now. I'm just trying to be a nice guy. I'm trying to see the best in both worlds. So I'm sorry.
That skill's not ready.
Well, that was intentional. Anyways, Dawson still maintains that he wasn't trying to allege that actual illegal images were being sent or accuse them of distributing illegal images. He only wanted to say that Ava had believed that it was an underage person and had shared it in a Mr. Beast work group chat to show that that's what they're up to, which is, yeah, I guess so, right? Huge if true. And the primary consumer of Mr. Beast content is children. And the primary consumer of Mr. Beast food, Lunchly products, just all that stuff is just children. Logan Paul, children. It's all just children. It's all just babies, children. It's weird when this is what these people are doing and saying behind the scenes. But then again, you got Blippy or Bloopy. What's his name? Blippy, the guy who projectiles shit out of his ass. People are weird, dude. People are really, really, really weird. Sometimes you just got to make a cost-benefit analysis before you determine what's good and bad. There will always be bad. There will always be bad. It's the cosmic scale of things, right, guys? It's the cosmic scale of things, right? Me thinking about my cosmic scale right now. I'm thinking about my cosmic scale. Someone shot a gun right behind me about a minute and a half ago, and I'm still a little bit nervous about that. Anyways, for me and probably the average viewer, I would like to think
together.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Mike, one of the senior developers at EHG, held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I guess this question is around a new roadmap.
Are there plans on updating the roadmap for 1.2, or do you guys not currently know what's happening? Going to be able to do so? Yeah, there are. I've seen a. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I have seen some like prototype options for roadmap updates. So I know people are working on like another infographic roadmap style. I don't know when we're going to get that exactly, but. You know, that type of communication I think is really important. It's and I mean we're seeing some of the issues with it right now in the sense that we made one and you know like stuff changes pretty quickly. It's one of the things about our studios, we are pretty, and it's not in the programming sense but in the just general sense, we are pretty agile. I mean we do agile stuff as well, but there's a whole other term there, but it doesn't matter. So the point is that like we do we do change things on the fly quite a bit of like in response to feedback, in response to new ideas people have. You know, there's a lot that happens pretty quickly, and having a roadmap that reaches far into the future can leave you open to having to change that roadmap. And you know, people set expectations and things like that, which is tricky because you want to uphold those expectations, but at the same time you want to just do whatever's best for the game, right?
I'm going to pause Mike right there. Now, this question was asked multiple times last week, and his response was, I'm sure we're going to get out another roadmap, but right now I haven't seen anything. Now he has seen multiple prototypes, which would lead me to believe we're going to be getting a roadmap soon. This is a question I've been seeing over and over again. Now, as you know, Last Epoch has pushed Season 2 to Q1 2025, and it appears some of the competition are doing the same thing, which is making people worried. Listen to this.
As far as I know, EHG is trying to release seasons in a time frame outside of your competitors' releases in the RPG genre. Now that I've seen that GGG is planning to push PoE 1's next season to Q1 2025, I'm a little worried what EHG will do with the release of Season 2 for LE. Can you elaborate a little bit about this? I haven't heard any information of anything changing at all. Kind of the short version. You know, like the options are, well, A, we don't actually know when it's going to be. So we don't know the exact date. Q1 2025, there's 3 months there. So like the two of us could be targeting completely different points in that 3-month period. And it's totally fine. There's nothing to worry about type thing, you know? That's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is we've targeted basically the same spot. And we're going to overlap, and it's probably on us to get out of the way. If we're talking about who's got more market pull available to them, and so then our options are like try and release earlier if we find out when the exact date is early enough that we can do that. Tons of problems with that, namely in just that if we're releasing it early, we're doing it either by cutting content or by skipping testing steps, which I know both of those things are like horrible propositions for almost everyone involved. You know, like, so I don't think that's super appealing for us. And then like the other option is delaying the content, you know, which I doubt many people want either, right? So we've kind of got to weigh what our best options are, how we're going to handle that, how close is the overlap, is there any overlap? You know, there's a lot of information we don't know, and a lot of information we do know that the public also doesn't know. So it's tricky to come up with the best answer to this, and it's even more tricky to answer this question. So I can't really say anything, but as far as I know, nothing's changed from our plans for 1.2.
question continues.
1.2 was delayed for the upcoming ARPG landscape and an engine upgrade mostly. However, now that was upcoming ARPG landscape was also delayed partially into 2025, is it now right in the middle of your public release window for Q1 2025? Do you think you all might have jumped the gun on delaying since you all are in a similar situation as before now? Or just general thoughts on how you would handle a long delay and things each you learn / has anything changed on future delays? I don't think anything's changed necessarily for future delays at this point. I think we're gonna wait to see how it shakes out. We're still in the middle of it, so it's not much to look back on just yet. I don't regret the change we made. A lot of it had to do with changing. A lot of it also had to do with changing like what content we're targeting for the next patch, based pretty heavily on feedback we got from 1.1 on which content we should be focusing on for 1.2. So there's a bit of a pivot there.